I'm just so happy with the direction my skincare has gone since I've gotten into natural oils and clays and just making everything myself. This whole past year I went on a natural skincare journey. So previously I had been purchasing expensive high-end skincare from like Sephora, and it was expensive, number one, and number two, I wasn't getting the results that I wanted for the price I was paying. So I was kind of just like over that, and then I wanted to go into a natural direction. Tried several different skincare companies, different products from a lot of different companies, and I still wasn't finding like my niche. I wasn't finding the right stuff for my skin. So then I went even deeper into the natural world and just wanted to start making my very own sort of concoctions with natural oils, clays, just doing completely my own simplistic ingredients, and I found that that has worked amazing for my skin. So just to give you a little bit of background on my skin type, I have oily combination acne prone skin with post-acne scarring. So a lot of my scarring is like up here on my cheeks, like towards the back of my cheeks. After applying toner, I'm ready to moisturize, and I have a few favorite moisturizers that I use, all oils of course. So I use tamanu oil, that's one of my favorites, or I use rosehip oil. That was one of my first loves with oil, and I still go back to that constantly. And then this is my acne scar serum, homemade acne scar serum. I already have a video on this, I'll post that below too. But it has rosehip oil, grapeseed oil, and several drops of different essential oils that are supposed to be good for scars. So I switch around between these three really. And so when I use one of these, either my tamanu or my rosehip oil, I always use a few drops of this. Actually, 2 drops to be specific. So this is my lavender and tea tree oil, essential oil, and I apply that on a cotton pad, so we're gonna do that right now. So I'm going to use my tamanu oil, and I have my cotton pad here, so I usually just take 2 pumps of this. It doesn't matter which carrier oil I'm using. Generally I use about that much of the carrier oil. And then I take 2 drops of my lavender and tea tree. Oh, there we go. So you don't want to get too much on there because essential oils are really powerful, so it just takes the tiniest amount. So I just apply this just like any other moisturizer. So that was my morning time skincare routine. I do that without fail every single morning, and although, an oil might switch around here and there, maybe I'll use rosehip oil instead or something for my moisturizer, that's basically the whole picture that you got there. Now on to my nighttime skincare routine. At the end of a long day, the first step in my nighttime skincare routine is to remove every last trace of makeup. And to do that, I use 2 items. I use my Dr. Bronner's coconut oil and my Kirkland makeup remover wipes. And this is pretty much like one of the last standing items that I actually purchased from the store for skincare. So I take one of these and I put a few drops of coconut oil on here, or on one of the wipes, and I use that to remove all my makeup. Eye makeup, face makeup, everything. It takes everything off. My coconut oil is liquid, you may have noticed, because in Hawaii, coconut oil is just, it always stays melted because it has a low melt point of 76 degrees, so it never really firms up, it never becomes a solid here. So if you live in a colder climate, you can always heat up your coconut oil and that'll melt it right down really quickly. Just throw it in the microwave for, 10-15 seconds and it starts to melt. So you can use it that way, or you can just use another oil. Something like sweet almond oil is really good too. So either one. So since the coconut oil is melted, all I do is take an eyedropper and get some and drop it right onto my makeup removing wipe, and then I hold that right over my eye. And just kind of work it into the lashes. And that pretty much takes it all off. If you need to get more, just add a little more oil to the wipe. And that's how I use coconut oil to remove all of my makeup. My nighttime cleansing routine is very similar to the morning. I use my oil cleansing method, and I do like to mix my own concoctions, so I do have one that I've been using for the evening time. So this is my cleanser here, and I will show you what oils I used in this. So I use the same base as what I use in the morning time, which is my jojoba oil and avocado oil, and I just like that combination. It just seems to work really well for my skin. So that's why I kind of just keep using those in my oil cleansers. And then I do like to use neem oil. So I added a few drops of that in there. And then, of course, I like my tea tree oil and my lavender oil. So those are the two essential oils that I added to those. Just a few drops of them. So that is my nighttime cleanser, and so I apply that just before I jump in the shower. So I take a few pumps of it and apply that in my hand, massage it in just before I jump in the shower, and it's the last thing that I wash off. So, you know, shave, shower, wash your hair, everything, and then the oil comes off last. And so basically it's just kind of steaming all throughout the shower. It feels really good, really invigorating, and then I use my washcloth and hold that over my face just like the morning time, and that helps steam the rest of it off and kind of, you know, rub the rest of it away. And then even though I have like my Clarisonic, you know, I haven't used that for a couple months now. So my new best friend since I've switched to my oil cleansing method is just a washcloth. Just a basic washcloth, $1.29 at Ross. I freaking love my washcloths. I use these every day, like twice a day. So, and never use the same one twice. Make sure that you always wash them right away. I think that is everything for cleansing, and then for toning, I do like to use, you know, my toners in the evening as well. So it doesn't matter really which one, it's kind of whatever one I'm in the mood for, same thing as in the morning. So I just grab my witch hazel PM, which has the chamomile and lavender, which I really like. I just shake that up, and I have my cotton pad here, and I just apply several drops onto my cotton pad. Just make sure that's nice and soaked, and then apply. So for tonight's moisturizer, I decided on Tamanu oil, and I'm going to do 2 pumps of that on a clean cotton pad. And then I chose 3 essential oils. Actually, 2 of them are blends, so that's the only reason I was able to choose 3 is because these are already blended in jojoba oil. So I'm going to use neroli, just 1 drop. And then the next one is German chamomile, which is also already blended in jojoba. So just 1 drop of that. And then I'm choosing lavender, which is straight. So just 1 little drop of that. Okay. And if you typically have very dry skin and you find that oils do not absorb into your skin very quickly, then try dampening your skin a little. You know, just like with a hot washcloth or something, just kind of open it up and soften your skin a bit, and then the oils can sink in a lot easier. And you can see how close I'm going to my eye. I don't get right up under my eye. I just stay on, you know, where my normal skin is. I don't get into that delicate area too much. I save that for testing out other oils, and I typically don't use essential oils right next to my eye. I will use just a regular carrier oil like my baobab oil, which I'll probably use tonight. For my under eyes, I am going to use baobab oil, and so I'm just going to take that on the back of my hand, just 1 tiny pump. There we go. So just a tiny amount, and I'm just going to take my ring finger and dab that on. And I don't moisturize on top of my lid, just underneath, just where, you know, where crow's feet would form. Yeah, just under the eyes is fine. So that was my nighttime skincare routine, and I think that pretty much gave you guys the whole picture of everything that I do. And some people might think, oh geez, that's a lot of work, but no, actually I really enjoy the whole ritual. Like every step, every skincare step along the way, I really enjoy each little ritual. And I think that's something that a lot of, like in the West here, people tend to maybe want to try to rush through their skincare, whereas I notice, you know, in my research of other countries, they actually enjoy each step and massaging their skin. So I feel like this is like a win-win skincare regimen for me, and I will never go back to what I was using before. And one of the things about this is, like, why it's a win-win for me is that, number 1, it saves me a ton of money that I was blowing before on expensive skincare. Number 2, I enjoy taking my time with each step of the skincare, so it's not like any more work for me. Number 3, my skin has improved, like, incredibly, like an unbelievable improvements since, I don't know, like even just like 6 months ago. It's so much healthier.